guys, it's Pow here, and I'm here with 3 amazing super fans. I think you guys should get to know them. I want to get to know them, so I'm going to get started. Ladies, introduce yourselves because the world wants to know who you are.
Sure. My name is Briggsy. I'm known as the hype woman for the Los Angeles Valiant in Overwatch League. I also work in esports journalism for OverwatchScore.com. I also, as you can probably tell, do a little bit of cosplaying. So anything in esports, I've probably done. So.
I am Mailani. I'm a huge Muma fan, but I also love Sleepy and Baby Bae.
It's get it.
Yeah,
Great players.
I pretty much just always cheer for Muma on the top of my lungs, and people usually hate me for it, but
They shouldn't, because they're terrible people.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I go by ZeldaErt online, and I am a hype woman for the Los Angeles Gladiators, and I make a lot of memes.
She's the meme queen.
She does. She's the meme queen. It's pretty hilarious.
I mean,
I am just a meme. I get memed. She does the meme. I get memed.
So I really want to know, being someone in a competitive space, what kind of makes you guys feel like you guys stand out opposed to other counterparts in other titles?
Because I'm a loud black woman.
Oh, I like that. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, that's really what it started with me. Like, I didn't really go there to make an impact or have people know me by name. It's just, I only went in there to go in there and make fun of the players. And then it turned into something more than that. But I think it's just very important just to not kind of restrict any sort of passion, because having come from a fan of traditional sports or flesh sports, as a few friends of mine call them, that passion's pretty imperative to, making a sport stay alive. So I guess in terms of me, I just want to make sure that nobody ever feels ashamed to like scream at their TV or jump up and down or cheer for their team, and just be generally supportive.
I originally went into gaming partially because I couldn't walk for a year, so gaming kind of came like the only outlet that I had, and then I started watching Jake's and Muma streams, and like I fell in love and I got so excited. And I had actually no friends when I went to Owl, and then once I got there, I made a bunch of friends, and we all kind of got together and kind of became friends on the fact that like there's a lot of sexism and a lot of people hate on the girls who cheer because their cheers are a lot like more high pitched than men. So
God forbid.
Yeah, and we usually are more enthusiastic because we love it more.
I want to know, you say you're the meme queen, there's a lot, memes seem to be kind of like that general thing that everyone loves, either you love it or you hate it, but you got to be up to, your memes. So what's the best meme you've, I say, portrayed in the Overwatch community?
oh my, that is a question.
You gotta pick one.
One, you get only one.
If you don't mind, may I pick one from each format? I do.
Okay.
I like to do online ones where I like edit pictures or videos, but I also like to paint signs, and that's what actually, that's where I found some of my place in Overwatch League.
Okay.
The first time I came to a game, I brought a sign that I painted that says, Torbjorn ready to twerk, and it had him sticking his butt out. And so many of my friends thought that was great, and just some of the casters thought that was great, and I immediately felt so involved with this community. And as weird as it sounds, I think that's why memes are really important to me, because it's just this language that we all speak, and it's constantly evolving and moving, and we all get joy from it somehow.
So I feel like there's a sense of sisterhood here. You obviously see each other on a constant basis. You guys have probably know each other at a personal level because you've been through a lot. How has that bond created, or I guess what I want to say, what has that bond meant to you, having that sisterhood?
I think it's just, it's kind of hard to put into words. Because while Mailani mentioned how her physical injury kind of helped her get into it, mine was more mental.
Sure.
And especially recently with people just kind of being completely uninformed and ignorant with mental illness and just going through a lot, because especially now there just seems to be a lot more tension, a lot more anxiety, a lot more depression that people have been dealing with, whether you're a pro or just somebody watching the games.
Yeah.
In terms of that, it kind of, forming those sort of bonds for me used to go against everything I knew, because I'm used to just trying to survive. I'm used to just trying to get through the day. And with that, it's very difficult to trust people. It's difficult to be open and honest with people because you don't know whether they think you're crazy or you don't know whether they think you're...
Or they want something from you.
Right, or exactly. They want something from you, which unfortunately I've experienced both. Ultimately, in terms, at least with these ladies, I haven't experienced anything but genuine care, love, concern, and what's most important to me, respect. And I think that's very important when you have friendships like that. Like, you have to be able to respect the people you're with. You have to treat them like they're human, treat them like they're, you know, just people.
The main thing is kind of just knowing that other people are going through the same thing as you are. And I'm in like a lot of women in engineering, all those clubs, all the groups that you can be in, and the main thing is just hearing stories about other people who have been through the same things that you have, and knowing that there are other people who are going through the same kind of sexist comments, but they still respect you and encourage you, and they completely like ignore what all the other people say, and like, you know, you should ignore it, but sometimes it does get to you, and they kind of like bring you up in it, which is really nice.
Yeah, from an anecdotal point of view, I know maybe it was like half a year back at this point, I was going through a really hard time, especially with like some mental illness problems and some things in my life, and our lovely friends Marina and Dustin, hi guys, had a World Cup party, and oh god, it was actually like I had just been like walling myself off in my own little like
I think we all can relate to that.
And just like having like such a safe space to go somewhere with people who care about me and who can relate to my passions on like so many levels was actually just like it got me through those hard times.
My hair was so big. Oh my god, I had big hair then.
You know what's so crazy is, you know, when I remember walking into that arena for the very first time and seeing young little girls with their families, that impactful moment, because if I would have put myself back at that age watching this and watching that support, I can see them looking at you guys and saying, wow, it's okay to cheer video games on. It's okay to cheer on esports. How does that make you guys feel when they're looking up to you? Because you guys are kind of setting the trend now to make it okay to cheer on esports, to be, you know, as loud as possible and have no regrets. How's that feeling been for you?
It honestly feels really good, because when I was a kid, like I was such a tomboy, but my parents wouldn't let me be a tomboy. So I loved cars. I loved like Transformers. I loved Iron Man. Iron Man is my absolute favorite, and I love it. I love it so much. But I was never like really allowed or engaged into esports, and like I always did. I did a bunch of sports. I did surfing, snowboarding, MMA, boxing, track, soccer. I did all that kind of stuff, but like I never had any friends that were actually into gaming. And so like when I did get hurt, I was in a depression, and when I got to Muma and Jake's stream, I met a bunch of people actually through their streams, and they all kind of like lifted me up, and they all kind of like cheered, and I realized I was like, there's other people like that.
Yeah, you're not alone.
And it was really nice, because once you see it, you start to kind of relax and like, oh, I can do that too. So it's really nice to have a base of that.
It's a beautiful thing seeing like the younger kids coming in, and you can see like they bring signs, and you're like, okay, like some of us have inspired that, or they'll have an outfit that they decked out for themselves, and it's like you can already see that like they can have this synthesis of like real sports and technology and gaming, and they can feel themselves in that. They don't have to like make their way into like force their way into something. They can just have their own spot there. It's really cute.
Yeah, and I'm sure with the cosplay, that's super inspiring to see these little Symmetras or these little, you know, cosplayers come in.
Kids are much more creative than me, man. It's so nice to see them. But no, for me, and I'll get anecdotal as well. It's just when I was in high school, during a senior year, there was a week where we could do whatever we want. There was a costume there, and I wanted to do Katana from Mortal Kombat. Like that was my main when I played for her. And what I liked about her was the fact that technically she didn't have a race. Her race was Adenian, so anybody could cosplay her. So it didn't matter what skin tone you had. So I dressed up. I had the ninja mask. I made fans out of cardboard and aluminum foil.
That's amazing.
I had the boots. It was actually a pretty decent cosplay. And I guess technically my first one. But I walked in and my group of friends was a pretty diverse group of friends, which made it all the more startling. And my best friend came to me and she said, "What do you dress as?" I said, "Katana from Mortal Kombat." She's like, "Why?" I said, "Cause she's a ninja."
That's a good reason.
She's amazing. She literally has fans as weapons. Like, but then I felt my stomach drop because then she said, "Well, she's white. Like, why would you dress up like her?" And I'm like, it literally says in her bio, Edenian. And this was a while ago, and it still stuck to me. And it's just like being told that you couldn't do certain things, that can really damage you. Like, you can be as strong as you want. Like, you can be as happy and thrilled as you want. Like, you can have a soul strong as steel, but when somebody tells you you can't do nothing, that hits you. But when you get to an environment where you literally can be who you are without anybody telling you can't, when you see little girls walk up to you and ask for your photo, because
So cute.
like they're like Briggsycakes, like what? I don't have. When did I have a child? Like I was looking around, but it's like you have kids like dressed up like little mini Reapers and like little Symmetras and coming up to you like, "Can I take a picture?" Like I was crying all in the club, like I really was, and I can't really express how much that means. Like, because at least when we're all gone, we know that it will be easier for them to be that open and to have that opportunity. So whatever crap that we have to go through in order to make that happen, I'm all for it.